Chapter 2. Biology and Overview of Aging, an Ayurvedic Concept. Ayurveda is a name which ancient Indians gave to their science of life. Ayu means life, Veda means knowledge, therefore, Ayurveda signifies the science of longevity. It also deals the method by which longevity can be prolonged and its nature can be understood. While considering the significance of increasing longevity, this science targets all the factors affecting the aging process. Ayurveda has adapted holistic approach to maintain healthy and long life. They have included the factors like social, cultural and environmental aspects that influence the aging process. Ayurveda has also recognized the role of psychosocial stress in maintenance of physical and mental health. The psychosomatic health can only be attained if there is perfect harmony between mind and body and environment. According to Charaka, the average longevity is 100 years. In order to maintain the complete longevity, Ayurveda has prescribed a specific lifestyle regimen, which primarily includes balanced diet and observance of health conduct. To get rid of worldly miseries, Charaka, the great Indian physician, has prescribed a code of conduct which inculcates the discipline of sense and mind along with regulation of moral and social virtues. While defining the normal psychosomatic health, Sushruta has mentioned that, apart from normalcy of structure and function of the body, one must have the clarity of his indriyas, sense, manas, mind, and atma, soul. The above definition of normalcy not only includes the physical health but also the mental health. The Ayurvedic definition of health is equally rather more precise. It is not only the adjustment of human being to the world, but it is the overall effectiveness and happiness. Main purpose of Ayurveda is not to attain full longevity, but to lead happy and healthy life. In classical literature of Ayurveda, lifespan is divided into 3 parts. 1. Balyavastha, childhood. 2. Madhyavastha, middle age. 3. Vridhavastha, old age. The specific physiological and psychological changes in relation to aging process have been described in Ayurvedic literature. In Sushruta Samhita, several physical and mental symptoms have been described as a consequence of aging process. It includes datakshaya, degeneration of tissues, indriyakshaya, deterioration of sense organs, balakshaya, loss of physical strength and body immunity, viryakshaya, decreased sexual power, utsahakshaya, loss of motivation, valley, wrinkles, palitya, graying of hair, kalitya, baldness, kasa, and shwasa, cold, cough and asthma, and klishta, inability to perform mental and physical work. Sushruta has further mentioned that aging is responsible for deterioration of datus resulting in emaciation. He has mentioned the word jara, sosha, which represents a cluster of physical and mental inabilities like krisha, emaciation, manda buddhi, subnormal mental health, manda virya, reduced sexual power, manda bala, reduced strength, manda indriya, reduced ability of senses, kampana, tremors, aruchi, dislike, hatasvara, weak speech, etc. Further, decade-wise statuses of various biological functions have been mentioned following aging process. Vagbhata and Sharagtar have described the characteristic feature of decade-wise changes both in psychic and somatic changes brought about by aging process. According to Vagbhata, the initial 10 years, first decade 0 to 10 years, is known as Balyavastha, childhood, second decade, 11 to 20 years, is the period for growth and development, vriddhi, third decade, 21 to 30 years, is for prominence of lusterness, prabha, fourth decade, 31 to 40 years, is the period for intellectual development, metha. Fifth decade, 41 to 50 years, for complexion, twak, the sixth decades, 51 to 60 years, for decline of sexual competence, sukrakshaya. In the seventh decade, 61 to 70 years, there is a gradual loss of vision, vristi. In eighth decade, 71 to 80 years, the auditory function is affected. While in ninth decade, 81 to 90 years, there is decline of mental and intellectual functions, mana, are affected. In 10th decades, 91 to 100 years, and indriyas, sensory and motor functions, show declining trend. The sparsandria, sensory power, is also simultaneously affected. It is cherished desire of human being to live healthy and long life from antiquity. In Ayurveda 100 years has been considered as a person's full length of life. In ancient Indian literature a detailed description is available for longevity, Ayurveda, 36:24. In Atharvaveda, 4:12, aging is a natural process like hunger, sleep and death. According to Sushruta the aging process is progressive and its gross effect can be observed at the age of 70 years. Sutra Stan 35:36. A decade-wise psychobiological deterioration with aging process has been described in all classical texts of Ayurveda. The decline in physical strength, digestion and metabolism, graying of hair and baldness, dysphonia, tremors, decline in cognitive function and learning abilities occurs due to aging process. Charuk Vyman 822, Sushruta Sutra 35:36, Ashtanga Sangraha Sharira 822. Type of aging. 1. Natural aging. The major manifestations are reflected after the age of 60 years in spite of following prescribed specific regimen, Ahar Vihar, for maintenance of positive health. Though the deterioration is gradual and progressive but in order to further slow down the phenomenon of aging process, Rasayana therapy is advocated. 2. Premature aging. This manifests before the age of 60 years due to various etiological factors. The aging process is rapid. The premature aging can be prevented by adopting specific regimen of life including Rasayana therapy. Premature aging can be prevented by the effective control of disease by launching preventive and curative measures. The therapeutic modalities include pharmacological and non-pharmacologic measures. Rasayana therapy is one of the 8 major clinical disciplines of Ayurveda. The object of this branch of knowledge is to remove the diseases and prevent aging process. The word rasa has varied meaning in classical Sanskrit literature. It is used for mercury. It is used to denote taste which is perceptible by the tongue. It also refers to the end product of digestion. Rasayana as a branch of medical science can be traced from the period of Atharvaveda, but it was developed as an independent branch in the classical period. Any method which prevents diseases and aging processes comes under Rasayana. In all the classical literature of Ayurveda, a comprehensive description is available which indicates the proficiency of medical knowledge in the field of geriatrics. A number of Rasayana drugs have been prescribed which have the property of keeping the balance of the bodily datus. From the therapeutic point of view Rasayana may be of 2 types, Kamaya Rasayana and Nimitika Rasayana. Kamaya Rasayana has been advocated for normal healthy persons who desires further improvement in their health and vitality. Nimitika Rasayana is not a specific treatment for an illness in real sense, but it is a specific restorative agent capable of bringing relief from an illness by way of its action. It may be pointed out that Rasayana is not a specific treatment for illness in real sense, but it is a specific restorative agent capable of bringing relief from an illness by way of its action. It may be pointed out that Rasayana is not only a simple therapy but is a comprehensive procedure which may consist of ahara, vihara, akara, ashadi, or any other similar measure directed towards the attainment of longevity, perfect physical and mental health. In fact, Rasayana is the discipline of life which permits and improves patterns of tissue nourishment leading to a healthy growth. Charaka emphasizes the akara Rasayana, and Sushruta elaborates Ajasrika Rasayana, that is, the effort to obtain health. Rasayana effect can be obtained by a routine use of milk, ghee and other elements in the diet. Akara Rasayana is not a drug therapy but it is an observance of certain code of social and moral conduct by which one can free himself from stress and strains of life. Medhya Rasayana is supposed to have predominant beneficial effect on the mental functions. Charaka, Sushruta and Vagbhata have given a comprehensive account of application of this therapy in the maintenance of psychic health. Ashtanga Samgraha Sharira, 5.45, Astanga Hridaya Sutra, 1.5.1.1, Ashtanga Hridaya Uttara, 13.42. In Harsha Sharita Rasayana is used for mercurial drugs, Harsa Karita, 354. Like Balagraha, there is also a description of Vritta Graham which is responsible for enhancing aging process. In order to overcome the aging process, Rasayana was promoted, and this has been illustrated with the story of Chayavana and Sukanya, Vayu Purana, 49.23, Markandeya Purana, 55.60.64. In Gita, Bhagavad Gita, May 16, 25, Vayu Purana, 49.34, and Upanishads, Sankara on Chandogya Upanishad, 8.6.4, Aitareya Upanishad, 1.2.1, some scattered references are available regarding Rasayana as a protective measure. Later on, Rasayana Tantra has developed in more systematic manner by development of immunomodulator, psychotropic and nootropic drugs which improves the general body immunity, mental and intellectual faculty by reducing anxiety and stress and increasing mental power. The Ayurveda has developed an independent discipline of Rasayana to maintain health and full longevity. A comprehensive regimen of Rasayana therapy is also available in Ashtanga Samgraha and Ashtanga Hridaya, which is mainly based on the descriptions given by Charaka on this subject. Application of Rasayana therapy is mainly given for younger or middle-aged groups with the object to take preventive measures before the practical onset of senility. In Kashyapa Samhita Ahara, diet, Jala, water, Mansa, meat, and Kshira, milk, have been considered for their best Rasayana effects. A proper observance of these factors is the best remedial measure for the management of disease like tuberculosis. In Bala Samhita, the concept of Rasayana therapy is described in an independent chapter known as Dirghasayapaya, in which the methods of enhancing the longevity is discussed. A specific regimen of Akra Rasayana has been specified in the management of tuberculosis, Rajayakshma. Chakradatta has prescribed various metallic and herbomineral preparations for the prevention and management of various disorders. Concept of Medyarasayana in Ayurveda. In Charaka Sharira, 1:149, a detailed description along with type of smrti is defined. Charaka says that due to the vitiation of rajas and tamas activity, the recollection of any knowledge of reality is impaired, and this is because of derangement in memory function. Though all the Rasayana drugs are known to promote both physical and mental health, but to promote the intellect, Med-A, is an important part of Rasayana discipline. Medya Rasayana drugs have been claimed to exert pronounced effect on the mental capability of a person. Amrita Rudanti, Gugulu and Haritaki are the Rasayana drugs prescribed to improve memory and other cognitive functions. The potential role of Medya Rasayana drugs is on intellectual functions and mental performance. Thus, the Medya Rasayana drugs promote the intellect, Dai, retention power, Buddhi, and memory or recall, Smrti. In Charka Samhita, 4 major Medya Rasayana drugs are advocated, i.e. Mandakaparni, Centella asiatica, Shankapushpi, Convolvulus paniculatus, Gaduchi, Tinospora cordifolia, and Yastamadu, Silastris paniculatus. Thus, in principle, Medya Rasayana drugs are restorative with specific effect on the intellectual functions. Several plants have been mentioned in classical texts of Ayurveda for the prevention and management of age-related neurodegenerative disorders, including their immunity and memory-enhancing properties. Some of the drugs are mentioned below. Ayurvedic drugs for enhancing general body immunity. 1. Sila cardifolia, effective in childhood immune function. 2. Terminalia arjuna, Terminalia chebula, Withania somnifera, Tinospora cordifolia, Emblica officinals, Ocimum sanctum, effective in middle-aged and adults for modulation of cellular and humoral immunity. 3. Terminalia arjuna, Inula racemosus, Dioscorea bulbifera, Tinospora cordifolia, Hippophae rhamnoids, Borhabia diffusa, cardioprotective and effective in the regulation of cardiac function. 4. Allium sapphirum, garlic, Hypericum perforatum, Bacopa monnieri, Acarus calamus, Nardostiches jatamansi, Convolvulus pluricalis Withania somnifera, effective in neuropsychiatric problems, particularly anxiety and depression associated with elderly people.